Okay, we have 5 characters, so shall I do 2 and you do 3, or do you want to do it the other way around?
How about you do 2 and I do 3 for this,
That's
like
what I
for
just
this time
said.
because
Oh,
you,
didn't I? Wait.
you said like either the other way around.
Oh,
Like,
okay. The point
how about
is, I'll roll.
I get 3?
Yeah, I'll do 3 for you and 2 for myself. So the 2 for
Yeah.
myself. Sorry about that. The 2 for myself are Rose and
Damn.
Karkat. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, which means that you're doing. Uh, ah, how do I always mess this up? Which means you're doing Dirk, Kanaya, and Dave.
Striders.
Yes.
All right. So, do I go or?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll make a quick stop back at Rose's apartment. She understandably wants to pack a few things before we leave this planet forever. Not a whole lot, mind you. It's not like she'll be needing many clothes from now on. Oh, come on. Can we keep our minds out of the gutter for more than, than 2 fucking seconds? That's not what I meant. She'll have to leave her current body soon if she's going to survive the absolute realization of her ultimate self. The new body I've made for her won't have much use for her usual ensembles. That's what I'm saying. Do you really need all this crap? Rose is sprawled out on the bed, resting. It's pretty much all she can bring herself to do these days. But in spite of her physically incapacitated, state, her stare tracks me intently as I root through her belongings at at her at her behest. Sorry.
No, I don't. I don't need it, but I'd like to have it. Some of it. Just the important things, the memories that matter most.
We're going to make new memories. We have countless millennia ahead of us. The entire breadth of infinity. The past 7 years on this planet are cosmically irrelevant. When we get where we're going, you won't even want to remember this big head rock anymore. Rose opens her mouth to launch into what would surely lead into a below but bellow board and
Belabored.
that word.
Yeah, I know, right?
and cyclical argument, but she doesn't have the strength. She groans instead. I know it frustrates her. It frustrates me too. That's why I have to get out of here as soon as possible. I let my voice soften. Rose, everything is going to be fine.
But Dad.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you're.
She pleads. She pleads, affecting an exaggerated whine that sounds unintentionally authentic with how weak she is. Wells has related to this particular line of irony, hemming it up with the dad jokes, as if she derives some bizarre gratification from the fact of our relation. It's an apparently endless source of amusement to her. I don't get it. I don't really care to speculate. I sigh and return to picking through her jewelry. The tactic fucking works on me, I guess. Is it the thing you were talking about? This rock rope?
Rock rope?
Rose lifts herself up barely enough to see. The effort to do just that seems to take everything out of her. She collapses heavily after she gets a look at what I'm holding up, huffing in annoyance.
But first of all, the word for that object is a necklace. Second of all, does that look purple to you? Don't patronize me while I'm dying.
I can't make heads or tails or any of this shit. It's a big pile of shiny garbage. If you're so concerned about it, why don't you come over here and pick out what you want to pack yourself? I expect at least an aggravated retort, but nothing comes. I glance back and see that her eyes have grown glassy and distant, like two round cut amethysts. Her smile seems due less to fondness that's stupefac stupefac stupefaction. That
Oh.
word. The circles under her eyes are dark, and her head is cushioned on an arm bent beneath it. Keeping her eyes trained on me seems to be the only energy she's able to expend anymore. The omniscient sickness is wreaking havoc on her.
Yep.
I should hurry up. I can't speak.
No, you're
I'm
doing
glad I
fine.
never. Okay, thank you. I'm glad I never had to feel whatever she's going through. Not everyone can be built like me. It just means I carry a greater responsibility to take care of those more fragile, especially the ones more important to me. I go through the motion of picking things out of her drawers, just grabbing stuff at random because, like I said, it doesn't matter. When she next speaks, it seems her mind has wandered. Her voice is as distant as her expression.
Are you sure Kanaya is going to be okay with this?
Slide the drawer shut and shove whatever it is I'm holding in the bag without looking. There's no need to worry about that.
How will we break it to her?
You're not well enough to stress over this. You should just let me handle it. I can make her understand. What's happening here is the best thing for everybody. She'll come to see that someday. Rose breathes in deeply and exhales. She allows herself to close her eyes and tries to forget these troubling thoughts of her wife she's about to leave. Speaking of which, Kanaya is on her way back to the apartment. She's blocks away, frantically running in the direction of his building. She's a pretty fast runner, but she'll have to run faster than that if she wants to bust in here and cause a scene before we go. She senses she isn't going to make it up here in time and slows to a stop. Sorry. She takes a moment to consider how she's gonna play this. She's beside herself with rage. Her phone is out, poised to call someone. Probably me. But she needs to gather her thoughts and figure out what to say. She knows she's been played by now. She's sure of it. And so has to think of exactly what she can say to me to stop this from happening. Or if nothing else, delay it long enough to force a confrontation. At least these are all things she's telling herself right now. They're only thoughts, after all, things she decided she believes after neurologically parsing certain patterns of behavior for me and her wife. I guess from her ignorant alien position, it's reasonable to be suspicious that something shady is going on. But is it really? Is she sure she's not misunderstanding something? Could she have misheard the signals or falsely assigned
Nef-
nefarious intent
yep.
into a perfectly innocent series of events? As her breathing slows and her calm is gradually restored, suddenly she isn't so sure. Maybe she's gotten this wrong all along. If you want my take, I think she's gotten this wrong all along. That's right. Kanaya, you have been getting this wrong all since the very beginning. You heard this. Your head is spinning with doubt now. Why were you running so fast? Why is your heart beating like this? You find a nearby bench on the sidewalk and sit down to really reflect on this, to question everything you've been getting worked up over. The thing is that you suddenly questioning isn't so much about whether the suspicion that Rose and I have been speaking around behind your back are wrong, per se, is that you're starting to wonder if they're right, but you've been the one who was wrong to object. This revelation hits you like a kick in the chest. It's heavy, it hurts, but only for a moment. Then you find it's like a weight is lifting off your shoulders to finally face the truth. If Rose has been spending more time with me than you, if she realizes she resonates more with me due to our natural similarities, and you find my presence more rewarding than yours, then what does that say about you, Kanaya? Doesn't it confirm what you've always suspected deep down? That's as flattering as it was that someone like Rose would give you in the time of day. And and as nice as that made you feel for as long as she was willing to put up with you, the truth is, on some level, you always understood you were never good enough for her. Pale green tears are flowing down your face. You have no idea how long you've been crying. Just noticed only now because you finally decided to confront the harsh reality of your marriage. It was always an illusion. You put your face in your hands and sob. The catharsis is relieving, bittersweet. Years of suspended insecurities melt away. You're finally free from this. Alone, yes, but free. And so is she. You love her with all your heart, and because of that, you genuinely want what's best for her. Whatever will make her happy. And knowing this, that truly all you ever hoped for was to help her to be happy, to be the best person she could be, it brings you comfort. It quells the grief into a dull ache. Ache.
Yep.
Only that you'll be grateful to keep for the rest of your life, because it will always remind you of what you had with her. The tears have stopped flowing. You feel them drying on your face into the cold breeze. Your eyes are clear and focused. You know what you must do. There is no crisis. There is nothing which to intervene, nothing to stop. You tap your phone and hold it up to your ear. Rose?
Ka
Rose, sweetheart.
Kanaya, I'm so
Rose, it's okay. I know everything.
you you do?
Yes, I understand what's going on now. I just want you to know how happy you made me.
Oh, Kanaya.
I won't be long. I just need to say a couple things while I can, before I get too emotional about this. I finally get it. I know you and he belong together. I really hope you will both be happy. Whether you're going in whatever you decide to do, I will always be thinking of you. I'd be grateful for the life we had together.
I'll always remember you, Kanaya. Thank you so much for understanding. I didn't know how to. I thought surely you would be.
Rose turns her face into the bed to muffle her sobs. I'm holding the phone up to her ear. I move the phone quickly to follow the move of her head. It's fine, really, sweetheart. I love you.
I love you too.
Goodbye, Rose. Before Kanaya hangs up, I quickly bring the phone up to my ear and say a few words. Hey, Kanaya. Thanks for getting in touch before we take off. We both really appreciate that. Oh, sure. I take every good care of her. I promise. Thank you, Dirk. Hey, one last thing. Before you head back to the brooding caverns or whatever, think you can do me a favor? Of course. You've probably heard this by now, that Jade is sick, in a coma or something. She's in a hospital. Yes? I've got an antidote for that. Medicine of sorts. If you give it to her, she should wake up in that moment immediately. I left it here on the counter in your apartment. You can come pick it up and bring to her at your leisure. I see. Yes, I can do that. Awesome. Well, later. I hurry up and toss the phone on the floor. She'll be here soon. So it's time to wrap this up. Rose is exhausted, emotionally, physically, the works. She's nodding off, but struggling to stay awake. She doesn't want to miss anything important, but there's nothing left to do here. There's no reason to put any more strains on her than necessary. I bought a syringe full of the same stuff as usual. Worked wonders on Jake, then Jade. Should knock Rose out well enough for the long ride ahead. I inject it in her arm, and her head drops almost immediately. I pick her up and carry her like a sleeping princess. It slips my mind to bring along her bag of stuff. I walk out to the sliding door, open it, and we fly away. Take away from this page, Kanaya got cucked both in candy and meat.
Yes. This is correct.
Oh shit, hold on.
Yeah. Uh,
But
wait.
before we get
Yeah.
completely out of Dodge, there's one more thrifting matter I'd like to take care of. It's a big day, but none of my dear brother sons and his wait
Uh,
eras
ir-
that word
yeah, irascible, I think.
irascible boy wife seems to be relishing. Hold on. Dave and Karkat are both squatting in their shameful bunkers at the feet. All their curtains drawn shut so that the sunlight cannot disturb an atmosphere that was carefully cultivated to facilitate their sourpuss mopping. The moping, sorry.
Yeah.
The only illusion is emanating from their television screen, which broadcasts the bright and sunny scene of Jane's inauguration. She stands at a podium in front of a crowd, of thousands of her adoring fans and subjects, belting out one killer speech. I wrote it. So you know it's good. But the mood is heavy, I think. I think they've been coasting on denial for a while, but today's the day they have to finally accept that there are no takebacks, no do-overs. Jane is the president, and that's that. Karkat's all balled up on the couch and as he stares hatefully at the televised production. He doesn't look up when Dave walks back into the room, carrying two massive bottles of liquor. Hey, wanna go get drunk? Ha!
Huh?
Hold on, I'm just putting something in the fridge. Right. I went and got all this fucking booze.
You got booze?
Yeah, check it.
You actually went and got it? Like, you literally left the house and exchanged currency with a real live person to obtain alcohol?
Yeah, I walked into the boozery all the pigeon toed and embarrassed, like some fucking hooch noob. Uh, was all like, yo, what's the most pathetic thing you got? Drink yourself to death with.
The boozery?
That's right, why the box wine, the bagged wine, the shots they put in those little blister packs by the register, the wine in the little sippy cups with the disposable plastic. I can't with Dave. I can't keep a straight face when I read his lines.
Yeah.
The wine in the little sippy cups and the disposable plastic straws like juice for fucking babies. Maybe that's that last one up don't actually know anything about alcohol. Maybe do plastic soda bottles of vodka cooler seems to be about where we're at right now. I think that's what it is. This is anyway. I don't really care as long as it gets the job done. I decided that I'm an alcoholic now. He
Yep.
decided that.
Yep, there we go. That's my personality now.
My personality trait is alcoholic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've always found inebriation
Inebriation?
to be that word
Yeah.
to be distasteful. Really, never understood the personal appeal of it. And after seeing how indelicately its effects have touched the other members of our family, I can't help but feel it's a waste of everybody's fucking time. I'd have I'd have half a mind to tell him to dump it all in the sink if I weren't cutting it down to the wire as it is. But you know what? Go the fuck ahead, bro. Might help him ease those ridiculous inhibitions for once in his life. Slide the stick out of his ass. Maybe slide something else up there instead, if you catch my drift. But I don't want to get ahead of myself here. At this stage, anything could happen. Dave sits beside Karkat on the couch and sets the alcohol down on the table in front of him. He sinks heavily into the cushioning with a sigh.
Have you now?
Yeah, it's never too late to develop a substance abuse problem. I've been thinking about it for a while, and it seems like it's time for me to finally get on the wagon of not being on the wagon.
That's really great, Dave.
Thanks. Anyways, how's the integration? You have a good time dwelling on every little tiny factor that cumulatively led to our electoral defeat, and how if just one thing had been different, it would have been us up there.
Ugh, you and I both know nothing matters in that campaign but Jane's fucking speech.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just keep imagining that would have had a Rube Goldberg machine of life running in humiliation has been stopped at this point. Maybe just being backstabbed by this endorsement alone was something we could have recovered from with righteous counter campaigning. But what if I had been fast enough to cut him off before he said anything? What if I hadn't accidentally fallen on him on the stage when I was rushing over there to stop him? What if he hadn't freaked out like I set off fireworks next to an AMVET and started trying to fucking scrum me? What if I just backed away from his punch with my legs like a normal person instead of wrapping the flow of time to escape causing him to become so startled he shits his pants? What if I hadn't gotten so visibly grossed out by the smell that even the people watching it on TV could tell what had happened? What if he hadn't started sobbing when the audience in the front row started throwing up? What if we had better security and stopped that lady from running out on stage during the fracas, and announcing that Jake has been dodging paying child support for like their 3 kids. Like, what was the line?
It wasn't that bad.
You think? Karkat falls into vacant thousand-yard stare. Yeah. See, that's why I'm an alcoholic now. You want a drink? I have sympathy, I really do. It's tough to devote so much time and effort for something. Come so close to tasting victory just to have it snatched out of your grasp at the final instant. I might even feel bad about it in any circumstance, but this was how things had to be. It's better this way. They know that, at least. Karkat certainly does.
If I'm being perfectly fucking honest, I'm glad I lost. I never wanted to fucking win in the first place.
Dude, come on.
No, I'm being serious. I'm not even doing some sour grapes I never wanted this in the first place because I'm a sore loser trying to delude myself into thinking I don't care sort of thing. Obviously I fucking care since the planet is going to be completely ruined by this jumped up fascist dictator who has every intention of gradually genociding my species into non-existence before my very eyes, but I cannot fucking think of a single thing in the universe I want to do less than be the stupid fucking president. Thank you and Obama.
Wait, was there a troll Obama?
I'm the fucking troll Obama, remember?
Karkat, you would have been so much more than Obama. God damn if that isn't the most romantic fucking thing I've ever heard. If Karkat had anything resembling a spine, he'd turn to Dave with those big, sparkling shoujo eyes and finally open his tsundere heart, oh my god, to consuming their painfully obvious and reci- reciprocated passion. But he doesn't, so he gave a so he gives a non-committal little sniff and turns back to the inauguration instead. Obviously, I've got an agenda here. It's pretty clear to me what these guys want out of this relationship, despite the fact that both of them being bottoms eventually makes it impossible for them to pass whatever last ludicrous psychological obstacle stands between them and non-stop animalistic fucking. I let it go on like this for long enough. These students clearly need some help. I could insist that they just fucking go for it already. Use the methods available to me. I'd rather not. There are certain boundaries I'm not inclined to cross, primarily in service of the emotional integrity of my friends' respective personal art. The low moments like these don't mean anything if they're coming from me, do they? As such, insistence isn't the tool I prefer. Persuasion is the one I reach for. And in a case like this, I can't imagine it's going to take that much. They fall into another silence that's more comfortable than it has any right to be. The crowd is really going nuts for Jane now, since she hit one of the best parts of my speech. She's just blasting the fuck off about how good the economy is going to get. Dave's teeth grinding all the way down to the narrative fabric of reality. Dave reaches out for the booze. It's past time to get wasted, he thinks. But Karkat is staring to realize how much all of Dave's effort mean to him. It's really welling up inside him now. He's so emotional about it that he can't help but say something.
Hey,
Dave stops with his arm outstretched. His gaze turns to meet Karkat, but Karkat can't bear to hold the eye up for long. Sorry. Looking at Dave is like staring straight at the sun. He's awfully handsome, isn't he? Then again, crawling out of prime pool doesn't have its benefits. Yeah, buddy, what's up?
I just.
Hey, don't worry about it. You don't have to explain yourself to me. I get it. It makes sense. I'd always felt the same way, kind of. Like about all my shit with Suburban, whenever. Reluctant hero's journey. And that feeling where you're being dragged along to being a kind of guy everyone is saying you have to be, but you've never felt like there's any way you can really become. Where every second you feel so sick with your own self doubt and fear that you can bear to even imagine the future, and you think, why me? Even though you know it can be anyone but you, and that's why you do it.
Yeah.
Lol.
I wasn't trying to explain myself though. I just wanted to thank you.
Huh. For what? Karkat's eyes drift from the TV to the floor. The slightest smile stuck in the corner of his mouth. He feels something warm inside of his chest. It feels right. Something he needs to say.
For everything. Even if we didn't win, I'm glad we tried. I'm glad we went through this together.
Me too.
More than anything, you believe in me in a way no one ever has before. More than I've ever been able to believe in myself. And I've never really felt like this before.
Felt like what?
I mean, it's not like I've never had friends before, people I care about. When people tell me they care about me, on some level it's hard for me to really buy it. They can list whatever justifications they have for liking me, and it all feels like bullshit. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You can't really expect me to believe you seriously think this about me. There's no way you actually see me that way. You just feel bad for me. You're talking down to me like I'm some sort of pathetic wiglet who needs to be coddled. Or you're just imagining I'm whatever way you wish I would be. Some person who's better and smarter and stronger and kinder and more valuable than the person I really am. I can never understand why anyone I care about would ever waste their fucking time on me. But with you,
Karkat draws his breath and curls up on himself. His instinct is to pull back, but he's fighting it now. He needs to see this one through to the end.
but with you, it makes sense, I guess. When you say something nice to me, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's comprehensible. I see how you got from point A to point B. I can know you the way I do and think about who you are, and I can understand why you'd want someone like me beside you. I don't have to wonder what's missing. You're on my level, and I'm on yours. I believe that you see me in front of you the way I actually am, for better or worse, and still might like me anyway. So even though it's still hard for me to believe myself a lot of the time, I believe in you, so I don't need to.
So what you're saying is you believe in me, who believes in you. Dave, please.
Yeah, kind of. Fuck, man, that's kind of deep.
I know.
So yeah, that's what I've never really felt before, and I'm glad
Come on, you're so close.
I'm glad that you're my friend, Dave.
Oh, for the love of God! It's practically slapsticks all at this point. My friend, that was the most excruciatingly overblown and socially maladapted love confession I've ever had the displeasure of witnessing, including his own, and he still managed to fumble into obscurity at the last moment. The guy was barreling in for an. uh, wait, what?
Barreling in for an.
Word, touchdown, and took a hard left straight into the friend zone. It's not like Dave is stupid. He's picking up on a subtext. It's just Karkat's cop out that's filling with doubt. It was a little too obvious, obviously sentimental. So obviously that maybe the friend thing that was deliberate warning, maybe Karkat can really do. Maybe if Dave crosses the line, he'll ruin everything. Better this excruciating liminal space. Something more than friendship, but not quite. That's nothing at all. I look Dave right in his mind's eye and tell him to cut the out. He wants it. You so just go for it, my man. It's now or no. I feel every brain cell in my immortal body begin to perish in real time. Dave, you cannot actually be that bad at this. How the hell are you walking around with my jeans and still acting like this? So, look, even if you can manage to top this guy, you've got it easy, dude. He's gonna open up for you like you just rolled up on a Denny's at 3 a.m. with all the boys and a Groupon. You can do it right here on the couch if you want. Dave scrunches up his face a little as as he's constipated. Okay, maybe I'm getting a bit worked up. I need to dial it back.
Is something wrong?
Huh? No, sorry. I just had an absolutely insane train of thought that kind of sent me for a loop.
What?
No, it's extremely better than what I don't tell you. I kind of forgot what we were talking about because it was so awful. We were talking about Karkat's feelings. He just dropped some touching ass bomb about believing in you, believing in him or whatever. You should really get to the root of where this all coming from. Oh, right, yeah. All that shit you said about us being friends and on the same level or whatever. Yeah, I feel the same way basically. Or like, well,
What?
I'm not sure that I'm like, go on. Kind of getting the feeling that maybe there's a level to what we're thinking isn't entirely coming across in words. And since we don't have the right words, we aren't getting to the right actions either.
What are you talking about?
Like maybe we feel the same way about certain things, but what we're saying and what we're feeling, maybe those are exactly the same thing. And maybe we should,
We should what?
maybe it's time to talk about that. Well, I guess this is progress?
That?
Yeah, how, when you say we're friends, what does that mean?
That we're friends?
Yeah, but like, is that it? Just friends? Karkat looks like a deer caught in the headlights.
Of course not. You're my best friend.
Oh, I see. I've literally been decapitated, and that was less unbearable than this. I don't understand it. I just want you to be happy, man. Why can't you make anything easy for yourself? Okay, well then, whatever. I kind of don't have time for this shit. The gloves are coming off. The anime ninja training weights are history. It's time to get down to business. You look into Karkat's eyes. You see that twinkle, that devotion. You unbelievably dense neutron of a star of a dumb shit. It's sparkling like a visit from your fairy fucking godmother. That shit is pure and true. A supernova of all your hopes and dreams swirling together like heretically uh, eff- effervescent, effervescing kaleidoscope of more hot boy peckers than you could ever imagine.
Dave?
But you aren't imagining. Oh, fuck. You aren't imagining any peckers other than the one right in front of you. Karkat's probably quite the modest and feminine alien penis, is the only one you've thought about in years. Suddenly, you can't even comprehend how this has you've gone so long without kissing him. You want to do so badly. It would be so easy. And you know he wouldn't turn you away. Karkat, I. You lift a trembling hand and slowly close his hand between you to brush your thumb against Karkat's cheek. He freezes in place, terrified. I think I. Karkat's lips part. His breath held. His eyes are wide with anticipation. He looks beautiful like this, you think. All you have to do is press your mouth on his, and he'll finally know he's yours. You start to lean in. Karkat closes his eyes and relaxes in your hand. He's ready. It's happening. It's fucking happening! Wait, fuck. What? What are you doing? I'm throwing my hands up in the air in the middle of the other shit I'm doing because it sucks just that much.
What's wrong? Did I do something?
No, I just can't. Shit, it feels like nothing, Dave. Don't worry about it. What the fuck is going on? This feels really off.
Huh?
I don't know. I just keep having thoughts. I know I never think. Oh, come the fuck on! I'm going to have an aneurysm. He's hearing me, but not listening to me. This dude has such a titanium grasp on his own born again virginity, and that's not even the literal hand of God. Can't compel him to kiss him his own goddamn boyfriend.
What is that supposed to mean?
I have no idea. I'm sorry. Dave pulls away. Karkat looks like he's about to throw up. I'm about to throw up, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't know what to do at this point. He doesn't know it's me, but he's fighting my influence with every ounce of strength he's got. If I push any further, things could get messy. Uh, epistema,
Uh, Something like that,
that
yeah.
word speaking, that's a shamble of letters.
Epistemologically?
That word. I could try more of backdoor approach and nudge them towards the sauce, but I don't know if even that would help at this stage. And my timetable for direct physical intervention is fairly limited. I take a deep breath and let myself under control. My light, philosophical instructions may have only made things worse. Invested as I am in the outcome of his encounter, I know forcing their hand would be a mistake. If Dave passes that threshold, none of his own will. It'll be a hollow victory anyway. There's nothing I can do but settle down, step it back, and trust my boy to bring it home. The gears are turning in Dave's head. He knows he stands at a precipice, and what he decides he could mean everything. Maybe that forced kiss seemed wrong, but he knows what he feels doesn't. He can't deny that, and he can't just forget the fact that uh, when he went for it, Karkat wasn't pulling away. At the end of the day, he knows what the truth is, really. He always has. So what are you going to do about it, Dave? This time, it's really up to you. Dave meets Karkat's eyes in a rare moment of clarity. It's then, I think, that they both finally realize what's been obvious for everyone else all along. With a measured motion, Dave pulls his shade off his face. If Karkat was stunned before, he's even more stunned now. The privilege of a Strider's eye moment is about the most earth-shattering experience a young man will ever have in his life. For once, neither of them have anything stupid to say. All they have is an electric connection that is no longer possible to ignore. Dave brings his hand back up to Karkat's cheek, in a gesture much more confident than he'd last. He's not rushing anything this time. He's only doing what feels right, taking it each second at a time. Karkat tensions being to dissipate from his body in stage. His stiff shoulders drop, his guarded expression relaxes, and when he covers Dave's hand with his own, he's not shaking at all. Karkat helps Dave slip his hand from his side, his face around to cup the nape of his neck. It's a tender, steadying touch. Dave applies only the slightest pressure to draw him forward, and Karkat follows his lead. They're so close that Dave can feel Karkat's shallow breath ghosting over his skin. Karkat's eyes are shimmering and wet as they flutter close. His moisture being in his thick eyelashes. His tongue darts out to wet his lips. All that's left is just one more step. There's one final inch, and it's over. They both move to close distance at the same time. There's a second where both of them freeze like that, still in the intimate contact. Nothing but warmth for each other's bodies are, and the dawning realization of a significant boundary crossed. Dave draws it in a sharp breath, lets his lips part, and just a little more. Yes. Wait, Dave, don't linger. Some lines of stress appear on his face. He's struggling with something. No, Dave, don't fucking do this. He's grinding his teeth and putting both hands to his temples. Beads of sweat dot his brow. This is so fucking unreal. Holy shit, Dave, if you so much as get the fuck out of my head and just let me do this myself!
Ah.
Dude, come on. Dude, come here. Oh my god, he fucking just, wow. Dave lunges forward and kisses Karkat directly on the mouth. It's like a dam has burst. Neither of them could hold anything back now, even if they wanted to. It's like, god damn, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the description here, and I'm missing a lot of good shit. It just caught me so off guard. Dave, my dude, I'm so proud of you. Okay, I can do this. I fucking need to do this justice. Cracks them motherfucking knuckles of yaoi poet and gets down to business. You know what? Nah. I'm not going to integrate with a single word further, and I won't let you either. I won't shape in this beautiful moment with my base editorialization just to satisfy your voyeur curiosity. Frankly, I'm offended you'd even expect me to. What they're getting up to here is nobody's business but theirs. Dave Cat is canon, and that's really all there is to say on the matter. Let's give these crazy lovebirds some privacy and move on.
Dave passes cannon. There we go. We did it.